Hi choirs, here are your video instructions for this week's assignment. It's really important that you watch these instructions because we're going to use this kind of assignment again, and I want to make sure everyone's really comfortable with it. So your assignment includes composing a sight singing example, then sharing it with your classmates, and recording someone else's sight singing example. So the first thing we're going to do is compose. You can go into your web browser and go to flat.io. This is my favorite music notation website for various reasons, and I hope by the end of this video you'll see why. So I was already logged in. This is what it will look like if you have never been on Flat before. I used this website with my music theory students. It basically allows multiple people to collaborate on a document of music, so a piece of music, a score. So it's really handy, and it's really nice because I can comment or see your progress even if it's not complete. So what you are going to need to do is fill in your own personal email address. I've tried this with my school email address and it limits the amount of music that I can write. It's less than what I can do with my own personal email. So I recommend using your personal email address, a password you'll remember, and your age. So I already have an account with my personal email and I'm going to sign in. So once you get signed into Flat, it'll open to your library. And I already have some pieces in my library, but for you to start, you're going to click on New, Score, or Tab. Then you can title your document. I'm going to go with my name, sight singing, I can spell, and then today's date. Click Continue. You get to pick your instrument. I recommend choosing your voice part. You want to choose an instrument that is going to be in the treble clef or bass clef. So I'm going with alto because I'm an alto. And after I select my instrument, I can click Create and it will generate my score. So that took a little while, but here we are. I have my title, I have my first measure. Now your instructions are to compose 4 measures of sight singing in the key of C major. The nice thing is we already don't have any sharps or flats, so that's the key of C major. Perfect. Now, I want to set myself up so I can see all of my measures. Here you can toggle among different options to add to your music. A lot of this is beyond what you need. If you go to Measure, Plus, you can add as many measures as you need to get 4. Now, if I go back to Note, I have everything I need to compose. So you'll only really need to use note and measure for this exercise. I recommend sticking with whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, and eighth notes. All of those are right here. So what you do first is pick your note duration. Let's say I want to start with a quarter note. And then you can place the note on the staff by clicking. You hover and click. You can also change the note by going up and down with the arrows on your keyboard. Or if you really want to get fancy, you can click the letter name of the note. So I want a C, I press C on my keyboard, and now I have a C. And if I want the higher octave, at least on my Mac, I can click Command, up arrow, and it jumps the octave. You could, of course, manually do it this way too, but it's just a little shortcut. I recommend playing around with some of the notes and the different rhythms that you see here, but remember to keep it simple for this sight singing exercise. We don't want to go too crazy. We want people to actually choose our composition. So I'm going to make a quick composition here. I find it's easiest to choose my note duration before I make the note. So here I turned it into a half rest. I click E. Now I have a half note E. F, E, D. So I'm just literally typing those letter names and it's coming in. So there we go. I have 4 measures of my song. If you don't like this extra measure here, you can go back over to measure, click remove measure, done. So when you are editing your piece, whatever note is highlighted or whatever measure the arrow is pointing in is what will be affected. So just be careful while you're doing that. If you come back to the beginning and press play, the flat app will actually play through your composition. Nice. So I'm pretty happy with it. If I wanted to, I could change our time signature. If you are going to do that, please only pick 2/4, 3/4, or 4/4. 2 beats per measure, 3 beats per measure, or 4 beats per measure. The quarter note will always get the beat. I'm sticking with 4/4 because I like it. So the next step is to share this composition. The first thing you're going to do is click share up here, add collaborators, and then you're going to type @mwill. It's right here. Now when I do that, because I'm the owner, nobody comes up, but I will come up. So the first thing you're going to do is share it with me. That way I can see that your composition is done. But then the next step will be to share with your classmates. So I'm going to ask that the next step, you open a new tab, you go to padlet.com, Padlet.com, and I'm going to use concert chorus first. So we need mwill music / concert chorus. Chorale will be chorale. That's all. So these links will be on Google Classroom for you, but you go into your Padlet for your class. And Padlet is basically just like a virtual bulletin board. So the goal is for you to go from flat to Padlet. So if we go back into flat, we basically have to either do one of two things. Take a screenshot of the music, if you know how to do that. It's pretty simple. Make sure your arrow is out of the way. On Mac, it's Command-Shift-3, and my screenshot will appear over here on my desktop. Or, if you're not sure how to do a screenshot, you can click this little cloud here, click Printable PDF, Export, and then that will download and be put into your downloads. So once I've done that, I'm almost done. I go back to the Padlet, and if you're like me, you like to crop things and make it look pretty, but if you don't know how to crop, it really doesn't matter. So I can take my screenshot, click and drag into our Padlet, and I'm done. It gives my name here, and there's my sight singing. So now anyone else who logs on to our class Padlet can see your composition. If you decided to go with the download, I'm going to have to look in my downloads for this. mwill sight singing, there it is, and I can move it in that way as well. It's really easy. You can just click and drag, or you can click this add to upload manually. Either way, now my sight singing is displayed, so anybody who comes can look at it. And the last part of your assignment is to record someone else's sight singing. So you're going to record someone, find one that looks good, record yourself singing it using solfege, and submit it on Google Classroom. That's pretty much it. So you're going to compose and share it with me, share it with the Padlet, record yourself singing, and upload it. If you have any questions, you know that you can email me, or you can ask any questions on Google Classroom or also Remind. Thanks, guys.